Hey everybody, and welcome to live launch of the Dice Tower Kickstarter. Also a Q&A here with me, and I'll take questions about the Kickstarter. I think before I take questions about other stuff, I'll take questions about whatever. We're going to be launching our Dice Tower Kickstarter in 6 minutes, so that's good. You can find it at dicetowerkickstarter.com. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you enjoyed the first 10 of our top 100 of all time. Me, Mike, and Z. We'll be doing 10 more of those in just a couple hours. So as soon as I'm done with this section here where I do these Q&A here and we launch the Kickstarter, I'm going to rest my voice a bit because we're talking a lot today. Yeah, I'm early, and I'm early on purpose because I wanted to launch it I don't want to launch and start at the same time. So I'm going to press the launch button while we're live here. But if anyone has any questions, go ahead and ask them. Me and my wife went to the west coast of Florida to Joey's game meetup here, which was fantastic, 100 gamers. So we're going to do that again. Hope if you're anywhere on the west coast of Florida or east coast of Florida for that matter, it was a great get together, and they're going to get better as time goes by. Who's talking about cheeseburger pizza? Because was it cheeseburger pizza as great as you remember? Yes. We got cheeseburger pizza, buffalo chicken pizza, and a margarita pizza. And all three were really good. Actually, I don't know, that buffalo chicken pizza was pretty solid. That's a great pizza place. I was very happy with it. And then we had great ice cream. What's the Kickstarter for, says Brandon? Well, the Kickstarter is for a season of the Dice Tower. It is for the year 2024, or February 2024 to February 2025, of us putting out our content. This is how we raise our money. Think of it as a fundraiser, like a PBS thing. Now, you can just back us. You can back that, but you can also back and get promos for games and puzzles and things like that. But what it is you are saying, I like the Dice Tower. I'd like to see you guys continue. This is a donation from me to you all. And that's what our Kickstarter is. Let's see. Does having a second grandchild feel different than having just one? No, not really. I think when we had the first one, we were like, oh, we are now grandparents. But we are still grandparents. So, yeah, I still like having babies. And this is a baby girl, so that's cute. Hope you put pineapple on. Pizza needs pineapple. Well, the right kind of pizza. I wouldn't put pineapple on a barbecue chicken pizza. But I would put it on I would put pineapple on a barbecue chicken. I wouldn't put it on a buffalo chicken pizza, which is what we had. As I said barbecue, I meant buffalo. I'm weird. My favorite pizza is plain. You know what? So many people, it is plain. My kids are like mind boggled by that. They're like, why do people get the plain burger, the plain pizza, the plain ice cream? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people do that. When I order pizzas for a big group, I always order like 10 cheese pizzas or whatever because I know people are going to eat them. It's just people like basic stuff, but I do not. I always want the most exotic, weird, strange thing you can get. That's what I tend to get. Am I going to get a full Dice Tower tattoo sleeve like Roy? I am not. I got tattooed, 2 years ago now or whatever? I've had no desire to get more. I'm very happy. People can have their sleeves. I'm happy with just having a couple tattoos. Tom, quick math. What is 2025 minus 1992? That would be 33 years. Yeah, I caught it in my head too. Kevin Cowser likes plain pizza. But Kevin McCallister also apparently slept in and got left behind, and that would never happen to me either. Would you use the Kickstarter money to hoard shoes? No, but this is like something I was thinking about. Like, I guess it's a space thing, right? But I thought, so I just bought new shoes a month ago, and the shoes I bought were the exact shoes I bought 2.5 years ago. I walk a lot, so they get worn down, and I thought, what if they're not here in 2.5 years, Should I buy like 6 pairs and then just keep them, and then when one runs out, you pull out the next pair? I don't know. I know people, is that like a sign of getting older when you start doing that sort of thing? What is plain ice cream? Vanilla is a flavor and a good one. No, vanilla is a good flavor, but it is considered to be plain. Chocolate is plain ice cream too. I mean, a single flavor is usually plain ice cream. And since most popular three is vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry, I like all kinds of stuff in my things. Ice cream, malt balls, and sprinkles, and cookie dough, and things like that. Do I have any plans for 2024 I'm excited about? Well, we're excited about running our conventions this year. Our conventions are getting better. I'm excited about, expanding, making Dice better. A lot of plans that I do at the Dice Tower, they come sometimes in the middle of a year. Like last year, in the middle of the years when we decided to do more of the group reviews and things like that and change our schedule. I'm really happy with that sort of thing. I assume you can only pledge at one level again. So if I want to go to a pizza party and pledge to play a game with someone, I just have to choose one. Yeah, I can't do those as add-ons. You could do two different accounts and pledge for both of those. Or you could pledge for the one that you're worried will go out first and email us, and we might be able to add it on manually for you. So just email us at kickstarter@dicetower.com. Is there any particular promo you're excited to use personally? Lots of them, frankly. I was just looking at the Arc Nova one is really cool. The Summoner Wars one is really cool. Oh, it's time to launch. So here we go. I'm ready to launch. I told Camilla to run in and stop me if I was wrong. Of course, last time I did this, they were like, are you sure? It says drum roll. Our project is live. Dice Tower is live. 25 days to go, and we are live. All right. Let's see if I can add that. But I want me to be the bigger one, so let's... Hey, someone pledged for $1. Thanks. All right, so anyhow, let me continue to answer questions here as we do that. Is Divinity Original Sin compatible to Destinies? No, I think they're very different games. I thought you were kicking off the Kickstarter. Is it not live yet? Yep, it's live now. The moment you buy shoes for your future self is the moment your feet change shape. I mean, I know that you might shrink a little bit shoe-wise. Are you saying I'm going to lose some toes? I don't know how that works. Oh, you're right, Kabuki Kid says yogurt, plain yogurt, and vanilla yogurt. I had plain yogurt once, and I was like, why would anyone ever eat plain yogurt? Vanilla yogurt is so much better. I agree on that. Hey, we're 1/275th there. That's nice. We're almost at 1%. 1% is good. All right, have I ever played X-Men Alert? That would be neat if Restoration Games would update that one, but that would be hard because they would have to get the Marvel license intellectual property, which they did have for Unmatched, but that was working with Mondo Games, and they're not doing that any longer. Will there be a way to pledge for multiple promo packs? There is a way to do that. You'll have to look at the Kickstarter to see how to do it. By the way, if you're watching this and you want to back the Kickstarter, just go to dicetowerkickstarter.com. Alrighty, thank you, Richard, for backing. Mike Heller is backer number 7. And people are still talking, Kabuki is still talking about plain yogurt. I agree, though. She says, I just like plain yogurt. I guess it's used for mixing with fruit or something. And yeah, I mixed it with fruit and I mixed it with granola, and it's still better with vanilla yogurt. Plain yogurt is good for baking, says Matthew. Yes. How does a Dice Tower convention compare to Gen Con, says Caleb? Gen Con is the only board game convention I've been to. I know every convention is different, so I'm curious. Okay, so there actually is a big difference. Gen Con is massive and sprawling. Dice Tower cons are not nearly as big. Like the exhibitor hall for Dice Tower Con is going to be really small, like 20 publishers and different things like that. But so if you're looking to shop and everything, Gen Con's a better con to go to. But if you're there to play games, it's not even close. Both Dice Tower East and Dice Tower West have a huge library of games, curated games. We don't keep trashy games. So curated games, you check them out, you put out a sign that says players want it or a teacher wanted sign. People come and play games with you. They're open 24/7, and it's just so much fun. I mean, I'm not trying to diss Gen Con at all. I think Gen Con's a great con, but it's just a very different experience. Gen Con is a spectacle. You can also play games at Gen Con for sure. But if your sole reason is to play games, then you should consider Dice Tower Con or another smaller regional con. Love the space team. We'll tell Tina, well done. Yes, she did a great job on that one. I'm really looking forward to Dice Tower West. Looking forward to meeting the crew to my favorite YouTube channel. Oh yeah, and the games. Yeah, and that's another thing. I mean, I guess if that matters, if you want to meet people from the Dice Tower, it's a lot easier to meet, talk to us, and possibly game with us at a Dice Tower convention. Frozen yogurt is better than not frozen yogurt. Well, that I agree on. David says, I know the pledges for the content, which is amazing, and I'm happy to back, but thank you all for the hard work on amazing physical items offered as well. And no, and I appreciate that. And I give a lot of credit to Camilla. She really ran with the ball this time, worked, and the publishers. We want to say thank you to all of them. It's really kind of cool in that regard. Is the buildup for the Kickstarter your busiest time of year? It's tied with our busiest time of the year because we have the Kickstarter, the top 100, and we're prepping for the Dice Tower Cruise. And also end of year, taxes, and all that stuff. That's really busy. The other busy time would be the Gen Con, Dice Tower East, Dice Tower Retreat, all the different things. How many Dice Tower puzzles are there now? There are 3, but the 4th one will be made because of this Kickstarter. So if you're including the one that's on our Kickstarter right now, there are 4 of them. We built 2 of them here. We have not built the last one yet. The first one was the shelf. The second one was dinosaurs. The third is fantasy. And the 4th here is space. Do they still make pudding pops? I think so. I really did like pudding pops. As a kid, that was our treat. We got popsicles a lot. We didn't eat ice cream as much. We ate ice cream, but we had a lot of popsicles. Twinsicles, pudding pops, creamsicles, Nutty Buddies, things like that. Alrighty. Oh, Rob, you're coming back to the pizza party. Well, that's good. Hope you have a good time there. I never backed anything on Kickstarter. It doesn't have PayPal. PayPal and Kickstarter are not quite. Oh, that does have PayPal? Never mind. I thought they weren't compatible. I guess they are. Sorry. Dreamsicles are better than pudding pops. Well, dreamsicles are better than everything. I'm not a huge energy drink fan, but my daughter last week we were driving to go see the baby, the new grandbaby 2 weeks ago, and I went looking for my key lime bang, and they didn't have any, but they had orange cream ghost energy drink. And my daughter was like, "Oh, you should try it." It was amazing. I think it's like one of my favorite drinks, energy drink or not. It was really good. I don't drink energy drinks all the time, but I bought a case of those now so that if I do need an energy drink, it's orange cream. Let's see here. Oh, the red, white, and blue. That's right, the bomb pops. Those were also quite good. Can we get a Men of Dice Tower swimsuit calendar? We cannot. Glad to pledge on day 1. Can't wait for Dice Tower East. It's becoming a family tradition for us. Well, I appreciate that, and I hope to see you all again. Dice Tower East, I'm very excited about some of the stuff that's going to be there. Oh, we're inching close to 10%. That's nice. I'm looking at getting a light fixture above my gaming table. You got any advice or opinion when it comes to lights? So this is up to you. For me, lights, I always like white lights over yellow lights. Yellow lights are nice and warm. And for some rooms of the house, it's a good light. But the white lights, while they're a little harsher, make it easier to see stuff on a gaming table. And so I usually buy a light that shoots light up, but also has an arm with some light that you can shine on the table in case it's harder to see. And ceiling fan lights, if you have a ceiling fan light situation, those work pretty well in that regard. Any thin crust pizza at the pizza party? I have no idea, but I'll ask. Thin crust pizza is better than deep dish. Well, that I agree. I thought you didn't drink caffeine. No, I don't drink coffee. I drink caffeine. I drink a cup of tea every morning, and it's always black tea or Darjeeling or Thai, but it's always a caffeinated tea. 1 cup in the morning or half a cup. But and if I drive, I'll drink caffeine to keep me awake. I try not to drink caffeine too much or have too much caffeine, so that when I have it, it works better, and I find it to work really well. Will you be able to add last year's puzzle on in the Pledge Manager? I think so. I can't guarantee that. That's a Kenny question. I'll have to ask him, but I think so. Any plans for using the Dice Tower headquarters back patio or backyard more in 2024? We're actually going to work on, I'm going to find someone and see if I can expand out there so we have more space in the chat. Thank you, Trevor, for the super chat. Just back and can't wait for Space Cat. That Space Cat is so cool. I really like it. How many Kickstarters has the Dice Tower run now? Well, that's a good question. Let me see here. So many things. I am trying to figure out. I'm going to add that and subtract that and close that. There we go. So anyhow, I'm going to look and see how many, because I don't know off the top of my head. One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is our 11th Kickstarter that we've run. So there you go. All right, now I got to open all that back up to that, and then back to here, and then back to here. Okay, and then back to the questions. By the way, the question and answer was how many Kickstarters has Dice Tower run? So this is our 11th. Will you guys do a spoiler review of Ticket to Ride Legacy? I might do that at some point. I think it might just be me, and I'm going to wait till I'm done, and I might do a spoiler one with my kids, since they played everything in the game, and it would be easier for them to do a spoiler review of the game. I'm getting close to convincing my wife that Dice Tower Cruise is a thing that should happen. Hopefully it's not false hope. I agree. So I'm with you. Piero says, I wish you all the best for the Kickstarter campaign. Do you guys come in France for the International Game Fair? I would love to, but that would require some money, and I don't know that we can pull that off, either time or money at this point. But it sounds like that would be a blast. And we just hit 10%. Yay, 10% of our goal. That's a good start. 10% in 12 minutes. How's that for a Kickstarter thing? 10% fun. I always think those things are silly. You won't see those on our channel. It could just be me, but you seem to be a bit trimmer these days. How are you getting fit these days? Well, no, first of all, it's just you. I'm down a little bit from where I was a couple months ago because I just started eating less food. Then I ate more food in the holidays, so I kind of went back up a bit in the cruise. After the cruise, I'll get back on the straight and narrow, but that's about it. I do walk, but I don't walk as much as I used to. I need to get started doing that again. Let's see here. I'm an omni pizza lover, says Robert. As long as it's top quality, I'll eat thin, deep dish, New York, whatever. Now, I agree. I like pizza in general. Thin is my favorite. New York style is my favorite. And deep dish just feels almost like it's a different thing. If someone says you want to eat deep dish pizza, I'm like, sure, but are we even eating pizza? We're like eating almost a stromboli at that point. But yeah, I like pizza in general. Is there no double D6 this year? No. Instead, we have an RPG dice set. We have to be careful with how many different SKUs we have because we have to make a certain amount of them, and if we don't get enough people getting them, we can actually lose money on the Kickstarter, and our goal is not to lose money. Let's see, people are still talking about pizza here. A thought for you, if you want to make it so people can choose whatever promos they want, just make them pay for it. Charge $200 to get any 3 promos you want. That'll also have the work you have to do. Well, first of all, no one's going to do that. But secondly, it's not just that. It's we have a limited number of all the different promos. So if we allow people to do that, a promo that more people would want would be gone. And then we'd have to say, except for this promo. It's just too much to do in that regard. Besides, if you really want the promos you want, you're willing to pay $200 to get any 3 promos. You can just wait till the Kickstarter is over and buy them from the people who got them. Jessica's missing Dice Tower West this year, but you might hope to be on at Essen. All right. How would it be to rig an overhead camera in a home game room to cast gameplay to enhance board visibility? Is it a major? I don't understand the question. To rig an overhead camera in a home game room to cast gameplay to enhance board visibility. We have a camera over our board already. You'll have to ask, you have to tell me what you mean by that. I'm not quite sure, actually. Your top 3 things to do on Dice Tower Cruise that are not gaming. Eating, watching the shows, and just roaming the ship. I just really like doing that. Maybe sitting on the edge of the ship at night, watching the sea goes by. That might be my number 1, actually. When you go to add the Space Cat as an add-on, it has the wrong description. Okay. Well, thanks. We'll get that fixed. Do you foresee ever switching over to GameFound? Well, I don't know. I've talked to GameFound about it. We'll probably have another conversation about it each year. We'll see. Have you ever thought about doing a teach video where you don't teach the rules, but you just play one full round of the game? Well, I mean, we do that with a lot of different, we already do playthroughs of games. We're not just one. Let's see here. People are talking about pizza and Stromboli. Would you say you get an extra 10 or 15% from backers after the campaign, but during the Pledge Manager? Not asking for specifics, nor will alter what I give. Just curious. I appreciate that, but I actually don't know off the top of my head, because when people, the money that comes in, I'd have to sit down and parse it out. I do it at the end of the year, but I don't do it for that specific. But a lot of the money that comes in when we do the Pledge Manager is shipping money, which we then have to turn around and use to ship the stuff. And so I don't know exactly how much it is. 15% maybe sounds right, but I don't know. It's not as much as you might think. What's the best music to listen to while eating pizza? For me, it's 80s pop. And I'll tell you why, because when I was a kid, it was the 80s, and we were at a pizza parlor, and we'd eat pizza, and that's what was playing. And so that just really stuck in my head as a nostalgic thing. I would go out and eat pizza, and you would hear that kind of music. You know, from whatever era it is in, probably. I'm looking forward to Dice Tower West. Any thoughts on doing Dice Tower retreats in the West Coast? We've looked into it, but there's logistical difficulties. I bet the sky is wonderful out in the ocean with no light pollution. Yeah, although the ship itself has a decent amount of light pollution that comes from it. But yeah, it is just neat to just see, just also looking out over the ocean, just seeing the vastness there. You used to bring in people for top 10s. Will you do that again? Well, we will consider doing it again. It's just I have such a good in-house staff at this point in time. And bringing people in is fairly expensive because we have to fly them in, put them up, maybe pay them on top of that. And that's a lot of money that we're doing. So we have to be judicious in how we spend our money. What is the plan for the Dice Tower extension? Well, we don't have a 100% plan in yet. I need to bring in some contractors to see what can be done. But our thinking is to move several of the offices out there, and then in the Dice Tower main room here, we're going to move some games and stuff out into that area, and then the studio would be completely easier to move around. And we'll see. We haven't yet. We'll have to see if we get to that point, and then we'll see how much money we have and go from there. What is my favorite game from Simone Luciani? I'll answer that after I do my top 100, just in case it's on my top 100. I hate it when work gets in the way of streams, but I need the job to pay for the Kickstarter. Well, I appreciate that. Tom is the best teacher of games. He taught us Ark Nova and the Dice Tower Cruise 2022, and it was awesome. Also taught us Student Imperium. Well, I appreciate that. I don't think I'm the best teacher of games, but I do like to teach games. And so if you allow me to teach you a game, I probably will. Wish you the best because you're my most consumed media of the year. The rewards are just an add-on, and the puzzle's a great Christmas gift. We just finished a 2023 Kickstarter one 2 days ago. Well, there you go. What's the name of the ship for the Dice Tower Cruise? The Oasis. Will you bring back the Game Fixin' series? Possibly, but you're probably going to see that as an adjunct on another series. Let's see. You have to listen to the TMNT theme song while eating pizza. Let's see here. Q&A until I reach your goal until 2 p.m., whichever comes first. No, I'm actually going to end a little earlier than normal because we have a lot of different things to do. We're getting videos ready and such like that. And like I said, I don't want to use up my voice all day today. But hey, we just broke 40,000, so that's nice. In 20 minutes. Okay. Let's see here. Steve says, I want to publicly say this is one of the best things to spend some money on as you provide so much, and I've done so for years, in my case especially. Well, I appreciate that. And we appreciate all of that. What are my go-to filler games? Well, right, I mean, it's always different. So if you just watch your top 100, I mentioned Valbara. That's one of my go-to filler games. And there's a lot of them. And I'm bringing, I just played Surfisar's Rex. So that will be one I have with me in the next few days. No offense to Tom, but Rodney is the best teacher for games. All right. Well, there you go. No offense taken. Although I will say we teach games in different ways too. Rodney is taking time to carefully plan that out and spend that time teaching the game. Mine is on the fly. So by very nature, I would hope his are better. Do you have a favorite GMT game? I actually have my top 10 GMT video out there somewhere. Well, the marbles return in 2024. We'll see. Will our content at World Series of Board Gaming this year be at least as much as it was in 2023? No, it will be more, for sure. This year at World Series of Board Gaming, the whole Dice Tower team is going, and we're gonna be putting content up that week like we normally do, but it will be from the World Series of Board Gaming. So we'll get more information on that soon, but it's gonna be a blast. When is the Jack Vassal auction happening? I want to say it happens in April, but I don't remember off the top of my head. Kabuki Kid says Dice Tower has been a big part of my entertainment and gaming knowledge for many years now, something like 50 or 15 years. I forget. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Well, it looks like I caught up on questions. We haven't got yet to 20%, but we'll get there. Have I been on a non-Dice Tower cruise? Yes. I've been on three non-Dice Tower cruises. I've been on Royal Caribbean once, Norwegian once, and Carnival once. And they're that good in that order. It's Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, Carnival. But I enjoyed them. I was with my wife all three times. My whole family one time. The other two times, just me and my wife getting away. Please consider doing a top 10 trick-taking video with Z. Last video for you guys is 3 years old. I want to say it's 4. I thought we did it in the year 2020. So, yeah, we're going to do another trick-taking one at some point. We have some top 10s coming up. In a couple weeks, we'll be doing our top 10 anticipated games for 2024. We have a top 10 3-player game list coming up and a top 10 dungeon crawler / adventure games. My friend Kurt wants to get a flea market table at Dice Tower West. If those going up or available, I don't know. You would have to find that out on the website. Okay, people are all talking to each other. How much do we need to donate to make the Dice Tower series an actual Dice Tower? Well, I have no idea. That would be in the millions. You can email me separately if you'd like to set that up. How is Grandpa life? Good. I think it'd be better if I was, closer to my grandchildren. I don't get to see them very often. They're 4.5 hours away in Tampa, but I get to see them once in a while. Had a great gaming day. I already mentioned that this weekend. So that was fun. And today is my daughter's birthday. Holly is 20 years old today. And that's kind of a weird thing to think. When you all first saw her, if you watched Dice Tower when it started, she was 4. When we started doing the top 100 of all time, and she was sitting there eating pieces, 4 years old, and today she turned 20. So that's exciting, but it also definitely makes me feel older. Best thing I ate this weekend? Well, I know what the best thing I ate this weekend was that pizza. Wait, no. That's a lie. I went on a cruise ship yesterday. I forgot. I went on a cruise ship yesterday to help load the library and everything. So I had a meal on the cruise ship, and it was at the Italian restaurant there. And so there was something that was really, really good. Oh, just a charcuterie board there. I just like charcuterie boards. So that was really good. I don't think the HOA would approve of those renovations. Well, joke's on you. No longer in an HOA, and I never will be again. Have you ever done a top 10 co-op games that aren't essentially play by committee? That's an interesting list, and maybe I will do one on my own at some point. Any news on On-Bomb video game getting published in the U.S.? It will happen. When it will happen and with who, I can't announce yet, but once I know, I will tell you all. But I know that it's being talked about. Did I play Deliverance yet? No, but maybe on the cruise ship, Brian Drake will teach it to me. If you're ever in Tampa, go to Burns Steakhouse, best steakhouse in the country. Was Holly the girl who used to wear a Halloween mask behind me? That is correct. It's hard to avoid HOAs in Florida. That is true, but we did. Yay. How do you keep getting new ideas for top 10 lists? I write them down. I think about them all the time. We have internal discussions. I don't know if, a lot of times, we have such a backlog now that I just go back 5, 6, 7 years and look at ones we've done and say, it's time to do that one again. Sometimes they're in. A listener emailed us about the one we just did, which was the top 10 reasons why we love gaming. That was from a listener that emailed me that idea. And I thought that is a really good idea. So we did it. Any advice for newbies considering attending Gen Con for the first time? Just go in and have a good time, but go in and go to the exhibit hall, walk around the exhibit hall, maybe sign up for a couple events, but just a couple ahead of time to go see and do. Go the next exhibit hall is a big open gaming demo hall. You go through there, you might be able to demo games with companies, although sometimes you have to sign up for those ahead of time. But there's just walking around and looking at stuff is a lot of fun. Dice Tower can paint the exterior of the studio in purple and green stripes and nobody can stop it. That's true. I don't know actually if there's some laws about like stupidity about that and all, but I wouldn't do that. Just want to give your web folks a shout out from a fellow web developer. They're doing a great job. Yes, Hilmar is doing a very good job on that. And I noticed a lot of people said that they wanted to vote in the top 100 games of all time. Weren't able to, but you can go to the website right now and vote in the top 10 anticipated games for next year. I love the Dice Tower History Anthology. Watched a 5-hour one a few weeks ago. Well, I appreciate that, and it is quite a long time. What do you think about the escape room board games? I think they are a bunch of fun. Let's see here. Does the chat have an official dice guy? No, but there are some little guys that you can type in the chat if you want to. We did hit 50,000. That's nice. Who chooses the content for Dice Tower TV? It's me, Roy, and Chris who pick all that. For the last one, I didn't pick any of it. It was all Roy and Chris. So they put that together. And I do need to record those. I forgot about that. Okay. How many people voted into people's top 100? I don't have the answer in front of me somewhere, but it was like thousands. Can you do top 10 lists broken up by length of playtime? We might, but it's really hard to do that because a game that might be an hour for me might be 90 minutes for you. So, oh, Vanessa said just made my pledge. Thank you, Vanessa. I appreciate it. Did you do another exit advent calendar last year? I did. I'm going to talk about it once I get that video done. But we had a good time doing it. Dice Tower video is a great thing. How much work is it to set it up? It's a lot of work, actually. I would like YouTube to make it easier. Maybe they will in the future. A friend mentioned to me that the Mad Magazine board game was really fun, but it's really hard to find. Have you possibly played this before, and if so, thoughts on it? I've not played on it. I would imagine it can't be that fun. I haven't heard much about it. Well, hang on. Let's jump here, and let's take a look at this on Board Game Geek and see where we're at. Board Game Geek, Mad Magazine. From 1979. It is ranked 25,586. It has an average rating of 4.992 out of 10. So maybe it's good for some people, but the vast majority of people on Board Game Geek do not prefer it. There's also a Mad Magazine card game, which is not so poorly rated. That one has an average rating of 5.86, but still not great. It says it's a better version of Uno. So, go figure. Okay. Ooh, we're almost up to 20%. That's nice. All right, let's go back to questions. When was the last time El Grande was in the People's Choice? I don't have those stats in front of me. Well, me and Chris are going to do a stats video for you, for sure. Backpack Arrow. It feels like Slay the Spire, but polyominoes. Is it a board game or a video game? What's my favorite piece of Dice Tower merch? Oh, it's the little counters to give the people the trophies that Z made up. You just got your pledge in mail in Denmark today? Well, I'm glad that worked out for you then. Hooray. Flip the Table did an episode of the Mad Max. Look, Flip the Table, I love those guys, but if they do an episode on the game, that means it's a bad game. Top 10 board games with a time in a box is wildly different than actual play time. That's the kind of game, that's the kind of top 10 list I don't want to do. It would just be so much effort. I would be spending, my eyes would go blear. I'd look at a game and go, that actual game time is this. I don't know. And you'd have to look at thousands of boxes. That doesn't sound fun at all. Also, who would watch it and why? I know you don't like the weight rating at Board Game Geek. What would you have as an alternative? Actually, I think the weight rating is a useful weight thing. I just think that at Board Game Geek, people don't know how to rate the weights of games properly, because they'll play a very complex game and go 4 out of 5. And then they'll play Ticket to Ride and they'll go 1 out of 5. Ticket to Ride is not 1 out of 5. Candyland is 1 out of 5. Ticket to Ride is closer to a 3. People don't realize that, how complex games are. I just don't think it's useful because people tend to weight games lower. They'll be like, "I'll take the ride, a super light game." Not particularly. Hey, we're 20%. Yay. Thank you, everybody. That's very nice. Have we ever done a top 10 funniest moments in gaming? Yes, we have. Thank you for the nice comments. I'm enjoying that podcast with you, Julian, Eric, and Hula Hoops. I just want the non-premium playmat. I think that one is just an add-on only, but you can just pick a very low pledge, get the dice, and get that if you want with it. Or just back the dice tower. Any chance we'll get a Rodfather top 100? That would be fun. We'll have to talk to him about that. I want to thank you for bringing in Joey. Is he fun to play board games with? Oh, yes. No. Yeah, I love playing games with Joey. You'll see him tomorrow in our mini marathon. Are the trophy chips like poker chips? They are poker chips. So I guess I'll talk about them in an upcoming update. We'll go over them and tell you some of the stuff about them. Would you ever do small box bands? They are awesome. You can get them as an add-on pledge if you want. Vassal is wrong on this one. I'm wrong on what one? Was it pizza? Or maybe just the fact that people should pledge to this Kickstarter? Alrighty. Oh, you're talking about the weight thing? Candyland is like -1 complexity. No, because the complexity starts at 1. If you have a rating from 1 to 5, the lowest complexity is a 1, the highest complexity is a 5, and everything else is somewhere in between those. And anytime someone tells me I'm wrong about this, it's because you play heavy, big board games, and you don't realize that 99% of games are a lower weight than, say, Puerto Rico. That's 100% correct. That is the truth of it. And if 99% of games are lower than that, then having a 1 to 5 scale, and then people have the gumption to pick games like Upfront and, the super heavy Lacerda games or 18xx game, and they'll rate them a 4, sometimes a 3 in complexity. It's like what GMT does, where they rate their games in complexity. They rate their own games in complexity, and they always rate them like 2, 3, 4, 5. Then they're not going to rate them 9 or 10. Let's see here. Rod's list would be all great games with painted minis. Well, that's true. How many people from a Dice Tower crew were teachers in the past? Me, Mike, and Z. Camille was a coach. So that's a teacher. So that's 4. There might be more, and I don't know about it. But I think that's close to accurate. Oh, Sam. Sam was a teacher too. If you decide to hire Mike a personal valet, I would love to apply. I am not hiring Mike a personal valet. How often do you cull your personal collection? Very rarely, but you realize my personal collection is like 20 games. There's almost no games in my personal collection. I have the Dice Tower library, and that I cull all the time. A huge culling is coming up post Dice Tower Cruise. I haven't heard your thoughts on the Mistborn deck building game. I'm interested in it for sure. I'll wait to see when it comes out, but it certainly sounds fun. The Guinness World Record for collecting all 20 marbles in Hungry Hungry Hippos is 17.37 seconds. Why is that a thing that people are keeping track of for pledge purposes? Alrighty. Advice on how to start purging a collection, or how have you decided on what games? Okay, so when you purge a collection, the first thing that you do, get rid of games you don't like. Why do you have them? It doesn't matter. Oh, it's valuable, or I want to have it in my collection because it looks good, or whatever. Get rid of them. If you don't like a game, don't keep it. Then get rid of games you don't play. Why do you have them? It's just a box. If you never play the game, you could put a brick in the box and it would be fine. It would be the same thing. You could have an empty box. It doesn't matter, so why have it? Then get rid of games that you like but don't love. Because honestly, who has time to have a game that you might play, you might not? Now, there are exceptions to everything I just said. Sometimes you keep a game that you might not like, but someone else in your family likes it, so you'll keep it for them. Or same thing. I might have a game about a specific subject. I'm like, it's fine, but I have friends that come over and they love golf, and there's a decent golf game or whatever. So those are the things I would keep. But I'll tell you, once you start culling and you have a nice trim, thin collection, you'll be pretty happy. Asking a gamer the weight of a game is like asking someone from Vietnam if food spice. That's true. I would compare it to going to a Thai restaurant and they're like, how spicy do you want your dish? 1 to 5. Like, I don't even know what you mean by that. Half teachers, half magicians. Yeah, maybe. Greetings from England. Would you recommend Blood Rage, Rising Sun, or Ogmore? Oh, that means you didn't watch our top 10 we just recorded because I literally said it. So I'm going to save that for you. The top 100 to 91. I say it in that video specifically. You want to make any more predictions for 2024? HeroScape, maybe? I have no predictions for HeroScape because I still don't know what Renegade's even doing with it yet. Any news on Comic-Coners coming to the U.S.? I thought I remember you hinting at something. I think you will know the news for that within a few months, for sure. What's the best board game that came from a video game IP? I don't know off the top of my head. There should be a deck building game about buying board games. Well, it's possible, and I wouldn't be surprised if you will see something like that in the future. But for now, I think this is what we have. So, folks, I'm actually going to end here a little bit early instead of going a full hour because in an hour and 18 minutes, we're going to be doing numbers 90 through 81 of the top 100 games of all time. Also, got to keep an eye on the Kickstarter to see how well it is doing. It looks like we are at 63,000 of me doing this, and that's very exciting. And we appreciate each and every one of you who backs us. I really do. We work really hard to get the Kickstarter up and running. We work really hard to give you the good content for it. I mean, well, we stand on it, right? I mean, you can go back. I said this is our whatever number 10th Kickstarter that we're running or whatever. But you can go back and look at all the other Kickstarters we ran, and we provided you that year of content. And we sent out the rewards too, so that comes too. So either way, I really appreciate each and every one of you. I hope that spread the word, tell other people about our Kickstarter. And I will see you guys in just a little over an hour. So we'll talk to y'all later. And now I'm looking for my outro. Is this it? Nope. That wasn't the outro. Let me see. I have an outro here somewhere. Maybe this is it.